My name is Kuldip Randhawa. I was investigated fraudulently by APEGBC back in April 2005 for a water tank that was not even built. There are other videos out there exposing numerous frauds. I'm a legend as far as exposing frauds are concerned. Not that I've actually done anything wrong, but a person being targeted is subjected to considerable abuse. The expectation is they want me to sort of, fall down and die. It's not going to happen, guys. We are not that people who are going to walk away. There's a lot of victims out there who need help. So as a result of what's been happening to me for the last 2 decades, a number of matters are being reopened. But this video is about the Vexatious Rule 18. It's a very powerful rule where a person cannot start a frivolous action which is baseless, which is without merit. It's about saving the court's time. But under abuse, what is really happening is people like myself who are honorable and believe in the legal system. Having been raised in the UK, I have more faith in the legal system than perhaps some Canadians do. The law is the same, it's universal. And I continued going to court. Could not understand why these various proceedings were being commenced against me. The truth is, all the proceedings were commenced against me are vexatious proceedings. They actually fall under Rule 18. But when I could see that nothing was being investigated, the engineering matter was not being taken seriously, I actually have a lot of orders that I can achieve which are in default judgment, where I am entitled to those losses. But because of safety concerns concerning these so-called tanks that were constructed, a proprietary system that's been out there for many, many years, I was not involved in any water tank structure with Blue Water Systems Limited. There was no water tank built, but other water tanks were built using the same design that potentially could be at risk, not because the engineer has made any mistakes, but because a contractor is setting up an engineer through fraud, protecting other professional engineers from other firms. So there are safety issues, because when a contractor can take legal action or file a complaint to the Engineering Association, safety is compromised. There are other tanks out there done by other professional engineers where these tanks have to be investigated. So I filed a petition. That petition, make a note, is S147600, where I appeared before Justice Verhoeven, 2-day hearing, where I explained the entire matters in all number of matters, including the CRA fraud. And what did this justice do? And what did all of those lawyers? There's me, just imagine, me on one side, and a line of lawyers representing various other lawyers who were supposed to act for me. Lawyers being defended by other lawyers. So now you got 2 levels of lawyers. Each and every one of them were aware of the crimes. If they were not aware of all of the crimes, they were at least aware of one crime. And you lied before that judge. And the judge who had this evidence made me vexatious. If I didn't start any proceedings, how can I be vexatious? I'm a defendant of vexatious proceedings. And then that same order is then applied again and again and again, and it's following me like some sort of a ghost in the court system, saying Mr. Randhawa, who's got 3 decades of engineering experience, knows nothing. He can't even do simple accounting like 1 plus 1. You'll see that example of 1 plus 1 in the article that's being prepared. It's an article on the Rule 18 where lawyers are victimizing people who are honest and honorable and come to court believing that they're appearing before a justice of the court who is considered as being honorable by officers of the court. I'm not sure if that word officer of the court has any meaning anymore. I think it's officers of crime is probably a better terminology. So this article is being released. You'll see the evidence as to why The police were not investigating. They now have the evidence. It's a crime in the court by numerous institutions working together, because I've actually come up with a terminology which is very important. I need to mention it in this proceeding, called systematic racism. Don't confuse it with systemic racism, where one institution makes some comment about some indigenous people or some Sikh communities and this and that and so forth. Take the word system and take the word automatic. Put them together, you get the word systematic racism. It's a word that I've actually have a copyright on. None of the lawyers can use this. All of the victims can use it with my permission, where if you are on this list, you can contact me. I'll give you the permission to use this term. Then you can also tell me about your problems, because whatever happened to me has happened to other victims who have been declared vexatious, not because they don't understand, but because these are individuals who are honest, coming to court, exposing the crimes of the system, and those crimes and those individuals have to be protected. And so they have this list in the courtroom called the vexatious list. It's a white list, not as opposed to a black list. It's a white list. It's an open list that prevents the staff at the counter preventing evidence being filed, preventing applications being filed. And so the justice will then hear the lawyer who was truly doing a crime, who submitted fraudulent orders and reports, where the judge can say, well, look, you know, I had the evidence, but that evidence is fraudulent. You justices now know that. I want all of the justices involved in the proceeding E055286 to review the entire proceeding, listen to this video, and look at the article that's going to be sent to you probably in the first month of January 2021. That's the year when victims are going to get justice.